Welcome back. It's time for Friday Night Spotlight. We're going to start with Minnesota's fraud. I've decided I don't even like this word fraud because it's too benign. What we're talking about in Minnesota is theft. We're talking about kleptocracy. Documents obtained by CBS reveal the suspects in this story stole millions intended for hungry kids and spent it on lavish personal items, like a luxury trip to the Maldives, popping champagne in a villa with a private pool, and staying in a honeymoon room. One of them boasting in a text, get this, "You are going to be the richest 25-year-old, God willing." That last part written in Arabic, inshallah. Another fraudster showing off his stash of cash in a private chat. And more evidence in this case, this lakefront home. All this while kids starved. Another suspect upgraded his car to a 2021 Porsche Macan. The defendants also transferred nearly $3 million to accounts in Kenya. There were also wire transfers to China. Peter St. Onge, the economist, says all of this, it's just the tip of the iceberg.
Of course, it's not just Somalis. Federal auditor GAO estimates up to $500 billion is stolen in fraud, in an empire of welfare that costs over $2.5 trillion per year. For perspective, $500 billion could abolish the income tax for 90% of Americans. Everybody up to $125K. Instead, it goes to fraud. Of course, fraud is just the tip of the iceberg because almost all welfare goes to people who don't actually need it. They could work, but they choose not to.
What did this guy know? What did Governor Tim Walz know, and when?
Donald Trump brought this to the attention like this is something brand new. This is not brand new, and it's been being worked on. But he made it white hot and very dangerous.
Stick to the Democrat playbook, what we described for you earlier. It's not happening. It's a conspiracy theory. Nothing to see here. It's the system.
I think what happened is that, when you have these kind of new programs that are designed to help people, you're oftentimes relying on third parties to be able to facilitate. And I just think that a lot of the COVID programs that were set up, they were set up so quickly that a lot of the guardrails did not get created.
All of this happening purportedly under the nose of Ilhan Omar, Tim Walz, Attorney General Keith Ellison. We see a web of connections between them and those directly involved in the fraud. For example, Ilhan Omar alleged enabling introducing the 2020 Meals Act, which was ultimately subject to fraud. Held a campaign victory party at the Safari restaurant. That's where one of the men who run that restaurant has associations to the convicted individuals. And then there's Tim Walz. House oversight investigation role in his role as governor, or Keith Ellison, the attorney general. His job is to enforce the law in Minnesota, but instead he's getting donations after meeting with the Feeding Our Future representatives. The Feeding Our Future, the biggest known yet part of this entire theft ring. The executive director of Black Lives Matter, by the way, over in Oklahoma City, has now been charged with wire fraud and money laundering. The organization raised more than $5 million in 2020, but she is accused of pocketing more than half of that instead of using it to bail out people for protesting in support of BLM. No, she pocketed, allegedly, most of that money. Oh, by the way, here she is. You want to see a picture of her? Here she is. Notice who she's in the picture with. That's right. Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. But hey, it's just the system, right? Let's bring in our Spotlight panel. Fox News contributor Mark Thiessen, Fox News anchor Julie Banderas, and Fox and Friends Weekend co-host Griff Jenkins. Mark, I think every allegation has to be proved. There has to be facts. There has to be evidence. But, I mean, goodness, if you're one of these Minnesota politicians, you got a lot swirling around you.
Yeah, and it may actually be worse than what you just outlined, which is pretty bad, because the Treasury Department is also investigating whether there was a terrorist financing element to this. A lot of this money that's going from Somali community in Minnesota goes back to Somalia through these hawalas, these money trading, clan-based money trading groups. And a lot of that money goes to Al-Shabaab, which is a U.S. designated foreign terrorist organizations affiliated with al-Qaeda. So City Journal reported that millions of dollars were going to al-Shabaab through these hawalas. So, you know, it might not just be the regular old-fashioned theft of taxpayer money. It actually may be funneling it to terrorists who want to kill Americans.
Well, let's just for the moment, that's right, Mark, and we've reported on that and talked about that here. I want to go to levels. So I'll go to you first, Julie. There's the politician angle, okay? So there is Walz, there is Omar, there is Ellison. And I think at this point, these people have to be real suspects in this, how this could happen, not just under their watch, but with this many connections to this fraud. I just don't want to see this story stop at some local small level. You don't steal at this level without ignorance or complicity.
Yeah, well, ignorance, then you just defined it right there, because the Democrats, a lot of them in power, do believe that they are above the law. And are we surprised? First of all, I'm very surprised that Tim Walz actually said something credible. He said that this is nothing new, that this is not a surprise. You're absolutely right. It's not a surprise. Democrats have been stealing from the rich forever. Think about all the government handouts that came out through COVID. The Democrats were trying to reap the benefits of the government for free handouts. Democrats and liberals are all about free handouts. And if they're not being voluntarily handed out, they're going to take it. And so, unfortunately, then you've got theft.
Right.
And it's definitely not fraud. I'm 100% on board with you, Will. This is theft.
Well, you've seen guys like Peter St. Onge and Elon Musk now saying that this is, by the way, what you're seeing here, this is rampant throughout all of the welfare programs in America. And then the other angle, Griff, is the Somali angle, which we've talked about, which is not just an appropriate, but an important angle to be talking about, because ultimately, it's not just Minnesota. We've been reporting here about this very same thing going on in Maine. Now there are new reports today that it's happening in Ohio.
Well, and I think, you know, Will, what Mark was talking about earlier, we saw this afternoon, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent saying that he's standing up this geographic tracking order to go after these money service businesses to try and track exactly where it goes. Look, if you're buying some luxury Porsches and some villas in the Maldives, that doesn't amount to $1 billion. This is a widespread thing. And I think Peter St. Onge is right. Look, you have the feeding our future, stealing from poor children that are supposed to get meals, free school lunches during COVID, instead going to lavish purchases, but did it go overseas to a terror network? And when Tim Walz says that it's already been handled, and when you have Ilhan Omar saying, well, if it happened, it's the FBI's fault, they did something wrong, that's not going to stand up. That doesn't account for exactly what we don't know, which is where did the majority of all this money go?
Start in Minneapolis, go look in Maine, look in Ohio, look honestly for every community that has earned the right to be looked at, and then go bigger. Then go to the politicians and go to every welfare program. Taxpayers should not be paying for this. I'm not willing to accept Ilhan Omar's, well, you know, fraud happens as part of the system.
Yep.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.